Senator, always great to have you on the show.
Jenny, thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to visiting with you here.
You have always been a strong voice for hunters and shooters and lovers of the sport, and you're now leading the charge on a bill that would help make sure there are shooting ranges to practice on for generations to come. Tell us about it.
Yeah, let me tell you what we're doing. I think it's really exciting, and one of the reasons I want to visit with you is because I need your members' help to move this idea through the Congress. But simply put, we want to increase the amount of money states can contribute from their Pittman-Robertson funds to 90% of the cost to improve or construct a public target range from a current limit of 75%. And then this would in turn reduce the local and state match from 25% to 10%. And then in addition, we'd allow these funds from PR to remain available and accrue for 5 years for use on public target ranges. Under the current law, it's only 2 years. Mm-hmm. Third, we'd limit the legal liability of the federal government, including the land management agencies, so we could encourage greater government participation. And then finally, we would encourage the federal land management agencies to cooperate with state and local authorities to maintain target ranges on federal land so that continued use could unfold. This is all in sum to get more access and more locations so people can sight in their firearms, that they can participate in what's a great American activity. And as you know and your listeners know, it's harder and harder to find places to shoot.
It really is. And what we talk about all the time is that, we're seeing more ranges across the country being threatened or even closed because even though they may have been there a long time, that doesn't matter when these subdivisions move in. You
got it. And look, in Colorado, we all do things outside. We hike, we fish, we hunt, we mountain bike, we shoot, we ski. It's just our way of life. And we've seen ranges shut down for a whole host of reasons, and this just seemed like a common sense way to move forward. The best thing about this idea is it's come from the ground up. I heard these ideas and these proposals from sportsmen in my home state, and we've just put their idea into some legislative language.
And it is a big win for hunters and sportsmen, but it's also about providing more money for conservation and hunter education projects.
It's a virtuous cycle. Is that the right term to use?
Yep.
And what's been fun, too, in Colorado, I can share this story with you, is Colorado Springs is known as a conservative community. Boulder is known as a liberal community. And the papers in both of those towns have endorsed this idea. So you get listeners throughout Colorado who know that when you get Colorado Springs and Boulder to agree on something, you've got a really good idea on your hands.
No doubt about it. I used to anchor in Colorado Springs, so I know what you're talking about.
What I'm talking about. Yeah, the Boulder paper thinks this is an excellent idea.
Yeah, and you really do have some solid bipartisan support on the Hill, don't you?
We do. Jim Risch and I, Senator Risch from Idaho and I are behind the idea in the Senate. And then on the House side, my good friends over there, Duncan Hunter, and Heath Schuler from North Carolina have brought the similar piece of legislation. So this doesn't know party or partisan boundaries. This is just a good American idea, if I can put it that way.
And really, everybody benefits. Even if you don't hunt, even if you don't shoot, it's about wildlife management, too.
It certainly is. And in the Colorado mountains, we've had some conflicts of interest, not intentional, because there aren't organized places to shoot. So you've had conflicts arise between mountain bikers and hikers and those out using their firearms, and this will just help minimize those conflicts. And everybody in Colorado wants to be able to enjoy the outdoors, so that's why there's this broad support for this approach.
Mm-hmm. But you're looking at doing this across the country.
Yeah, it would apply to the whole country. And one of the reasons I really appreciate you having me on is you all at the NRA have such a strong record of generating public support. And I don't know that enough of my colleagues here in Congress know that the problems that recreational shooters face. Mm-hmm. So I really want to urge your listeners to call their congressmen, their senators, explain the issue to them, ask them to co-sponsor my bill. The more co-sponsors we get, the better. And by the way, remind them that this isn't going to cost additional dollars. This is from a revenue stream that's already in place that, in fact, invests in our wildlife, in our hunting access, and in our hunting culture and our hunting community.
And I know that you have been fighting for this legislation for a couple of years now.
I first got on the case in 2008, and that's what it takes often here. You bring an idea, and it's the best idea ever invented, but you have to make the case. You need to build coalitions, and that's exactly what's happening. It just seems like the time is right to move this forward. And look, I think you could make a case that this certainly helps job creation. It helps the outdoor recreation industry writ large. One of the good news stories is that we're seeing growth in outdoor activities around the country. And in a time when jobs are hard to come by and the economy doesn't always have good news for us, this is a way, maybe not as my kids say, a killer application, a killer app, but nonetheless an important way to help keep an important industry alive and well in our country.
And it's so true. You bring in more hunters, you get more people involved. It's a big boost to the local economies.
No, it really isn't. So much of our state, as your listeners know, is public lands and places where people can be active in the outdoors. But as you say, this applies all over the country and would provide opportunities for communities, private citizens, sporting and hunting clubs to get together and put more ranges together so that people have that option.
So to get it passed, you're saying to people, make sure your voice is heard on this one.
You got it, and it's a bipartisan effort. Write, email, call, let your congressmen and senators know that this bill to broaden the way in which the PR funds are utilized is a win-win for everybody.
Senator, before I let you go, where is the bill? What's the status of the bill right now?
The bill has been assigned to the Environment and Public Works Committee in the Senate. I don't know where it's been assigned in the House, but we can find that out for you. But my focus is on the Senate. So particularly members of the Environment and Public Works Committee could have a real say in the bill being heard. So I know you can help your listeners get a hold of that list.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, thanks for taking the time. Stay in touch and let us know how things are going.
You too. Keep up all the good work.